Assalamu alaikum and welcome to Gossip on DOPStv. I'm Tisha with my friends, and Aliza has a story to share with us today.
About 3 years ago, I was heading an Islamic project that was kind of like being put out on social media. And we needed someone who could translate stuff into Arabic because we wanted to target that market as well. And you know, I had an all-female team basically, but none of us could do Arabic. So there was this so-called da'i or imam from another country that was chatting with me about other topics at that time, and I had approached him to see if he could, you know, do the translation, and he said that he could. Now, so I put him into our work team, and you know, everything was going okay until a few things happened. First of all, I got a very strange message in my Facebook inbox telling me about a fake da'i or a fake sheikh who was going around posing and doing such and such things. Now, from this description, I knew that this was the guy in my group. He came into my group and seemed okay at first until he started making some strange comments to me. Alhamdulillah, he didn't do anything to me. But then my female volunteers started to come to me. Hey, this guy is saying this to me. I feel it's inappropriate. And then a friend of a friend confirmed that he was someone who was predatory. I asked these women, you know, how can I help you? What can I do for you? You know, and they actually begged me, please, 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 don't go public with it. Please don't go public with it because the information is going to affect our lives now. This has been happening for like a few years. You know, we're married now. All these things are happening now. But please, we want closure. Please go to someone above him so that they can speak to him. So that's what I did. I actually spoke to the sheikh that I'm close to here, and because he was going to that country at that time, they actually had a face-to-face. So I mean, I was a part of outing someone, but in a very closed manner. And I know that there's always emotions on either side. You know, there's people who said, no, you have to out them publicly so that we can warn other sisters and other people about it. But look, in my situation, these victims wanted me to like not talk about it at all. You know, so what do you guys feel about that? Because there are both sides right now about different situations.
I think when it becomes a danger, it has to be spoken out, whether it's a sheikh or a
But the sisters didn't want you to out him publicly because
They were married and they had
so
families.
So what? So they're married. So what? What's
because in the past he had affected their marriages before, and the husbands had like left some of them, or the fiancés like ended some of the engagements. Even though, I mean, they were the victims, and unfortunately maybe the feelings were there, and they repented and everything, and they just wanted to move on and have normal lives and have closure from that. And they felt that if it was made public, then it would just, you know, open up that can of worms again, you know.
There's a difference between a spiritual leader, I wouldn't even use the word predator because that's not the case, I think, in many of these situations. But, you know, when there's two consenting adults that are speaking, it's how do you call one or the other a victim? But then on the other side, I can see how a spiritual leader will take advantage of his position, and there's kind of an intimidation that goes on. So I get that, but I think there's a very thin line, I don't know, when you want to label someone a victim.
It's very hard to differentiate between victim and willing consenting, but even when it's consenting, when it's someone who's above you, there is going to be this like psychological dynamic that is different than if it was just a peer.
When you do something wrong, you do something wrong. I don't believe in like protecting the person at all. I mean, I went through an experience where I had, before I first converted, reverted, and there was in the U.S. there was a Quran school, and what happened was the sheikh there, or the teacher there, the scholar there or something, he was young, he was like 18, 19, 20, something like that, and he started teaching little kids Quran, how to memorize Quran. So it was kind of like a Tafi school in the U.S., kind of. So what had happened was kids were coming home with bruises on them. Kids were coming home with pencil marks on them. Kids were coming home with shaved heads. And apparently this teacher was because he was frustrated with these kids that they couldn't memorize the Quran. These kids are like between the ages of 8 and 16. And basically, you know, if he would basically traumatize them, like he would put them in the corner. If they can't memorize a certain part, he would put them in the corner. If they recited it incorrectly, he would poke them with a pencil on their forehead or on their hand. And basically, when the community found out about this, it's a small community. When the community found out about this, people were like, no, we have to stay quiet. We don't want Islam to look bad. At the end of the day, it wasn't about Islam looking bad or not. It was that the guy needed to get fired for what he did. At the end of the day, he didn't get fired. So he continued teaching. I don't know about this day, like today, if he's still teaching at that school, but they allowed him to teach at that school because they had nobody else to teach the kids Quran. I would not feel
wrong,
safe
right?
for my child to go in this school, and I wouldn't feel safe for any child. And I really thought it was wrong that they allowed this to happen just because they didn't want. They were scared that this is America we're talking about. The minute anybody hears about it, that guy would be arrested. But they kept quiet about it.
So they didn't expose him, because I think
they didn't expose him.
I think it's like, in Islam, you're not supposed to sort of show someone's sins,
right?
But
he could have gotten fired, and then they could have kept it quiet. But he didn't get fired. They just said, he is the father of this sheikh or whatever. So he holds an image for the community. But I don't believe in exposing the person's sin. I just believe that there should be things done about it. They're humans. They can't get away with it just because they're scholars.
Accountable.
Yeah, there has to be a proper process that has to be done. Okay, so we're going to continue with this again because this topic is definitely not done. But we're going to go to break for a little while, so we'll be back after this.
Whether you're really going in there to learn proper knowledge, are you really putting the teacher at his place, or are you now lifting him higher than what you need to?
Did you like it? I know you liked it. I liked it because I liked it. I really loved it. So yeah, and I want to do it again. So I tell you what, how about you guys watch the remaining episodes or the upcoming episodes by subscribing to DOPStv. Okay, Gossip. This is fun. It's because I know you liked it. I liked it. So yeah, subscribe. Okay, dah.